Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our regular council meeting, Laurentian Valley, Tuesday, April 15th. I'd like to start with the Lord's Prayer. Please remain seated, and anyone wishing to join me can do so. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done.
Thy will be done
On earth
on
as
earth as it is in heaven.
Give us this day
Give
our
us this day our
daily
daily bread.
bread.
Forgive us our trespasses,
As
as we forgive those who trespass against us.
It's
Lead
not
us
as a
not into
temptation,
temptation,
but deliver us from
deliver
evil.
us from evil.
Thine is the kingdom,
Thine is the kingdom,
power, and the
power,
glory,
and glory,
forever and ever.
forever and
Amen.
ever. Amen.
Thank you. Laurie, call to order, please.
Mover and a seconder.
Brian and Patty?
Moved by Councillor Hoogley, second by Councillor King, that the regular council meeting of April 15th, 2025 be called to order at 5:35 p.m.
All in favor? Carried. Roll call?
Mayor Bennett,
Present.
Reeve Watt,
Present.
Councillor Gauthier-Keel,
Present.
Councillor Hewitt,
Present.
Councillor Hoogley,
Present.
Councillor King,
Present.
Councillor Wren.
Present.
All members of council present.
Thanks, Laurie. Confirmation agenda? Alan and Jennifer?
Moved by Councillor Wren, seconded by Councillor Gauthier-Keel, that the agenda of the regular council meeting of April 15th, 2025 be approved as presented.
All in favor? Carried. Any declaration of peculiar interest? See none. Motion to approve March 18th minutes. Betty and Keith. Any questions arising from the minutes?
Yeah, I don't think Betty can be present and regrets at the same time.
You're right.
I'll make the amendment.
Yep. Jennifer.
Second, okay, so moved by Councillor King, seconded by Councillor Gauthier-Keel, that the minutes of the regular council meeting held March 18th, 2025, and the special council meeting of April 1st, 2025 be approved as amended.
All in favor? Carried. Second motion for approval of, oh, so we've done, no, of the special council meeting, right?
It was all together as one, yeah.
I'm sorry?
It was all together as one. So
All three of them? Oh, okay.
committee next, yeah.
Okay,
Minutes of the committee.
committee meetings of April 1st. Okay, we need first and seconder, Alan and Brian.
Moved by Councillor Wren, seconded by Councillor Hoogley, that the minutes of the council and committee meeting held April 1st, 2025 be accepted by council, and that resolutions from that committee become resolutions of council.
All in favor? Carried. Under municipal reports, treasury report. Any questions for Sean? Brian?
I guess one of them is insurance is way over budget, particularly under administration budget 165, and it's at 224.
That's a good point. I don't have the answer here. There may be some adjustment made that got coded or got placed in administration, and some of it may have to move to a different department, but I can investigate it and report back. The key on insurance in the budget amount is we're really budgeting, like we didn't get that renewal until our budget was passed. So when we do the budget, it is an estimate, not so much from a quotation. So there probably is a little bit of play there on the budget not being accurate to what the actual renewal came into, but I can see if some of that should be allocated to other departments.
Second question's under Public Works Administration. The numbers for salaries and benefits, the ratio seems really out of whack there when it's 72 in salary and 62 in benefits.
That does seem out of whack as well. I'm trying to think off the top of my head if there was, yeah, that's a good point. I'll look in to see why there's that discrepancy there. Yeah, correct.
Seems weird.
It could be, but yeah, I'll look into that.
Maybe, Sean, you can just send a quick email or something.
Yeah, follow up with an email to
Sure.
all of council, yeah.
And the only other one that seemed unusual was under wastewater, and it was the principal and interest. $128 in interest seems.
It's the last payment of the debenture, so it's basically all principal.
Okay.
So that debenture, I'm not entirely sure what project that was, but it's the final payment. So it's really, that is accurate. That is very little interest.
Okay. That's it.
Do we have a mover and a seconder? Oh, no, we don't need one now. Okay. Public Works. Yeah. Any questions for Mark? Mark, I have one question. On some of our roads, after the winter plowing, there's a lot of buildup of broken asphalt on the sides of roads, piles of dirt or whatever. Do we go around and collect that at?
Yeah, we do. So typically, that's one of the first projects that our summer students tackle. I know the operations staff have been at the last couple of weeks in the better weather, but where there's been areas where there's more manicured lawns and things have been scalped and damaged by the snowplow, that we will go back and fix that stuff up. So, and residents do call in with that, and we kind of keep a running order of those work orders too. So, if anyone has any spots like that they're concerned about, if they can call in, we'll get the work order made up, and then May 5th the students start. So like I said, that'll be one of their first projects, is fixing up those areas.
Okay, thank you. Nothing else for Mark. Planning report, CEMC. Oh, Keith, I'm sorry.
Okay, my question to Mark is, with regards to the Joint Health and Safety Committee, is that just our own buildings, or is that the joint committee between Laurentian Valley and the city?
Yeah, so this is just our own building. So it was our own committee, and that was probably one of the first times in a very long time that we went through all of the recreation centers and properties, and we'll be putting a list of recommendations of things that we found, and we'll be having that discussion with the rec committee groups and the things that we picked up. So yeah, that's just our own internal group.
And that'll be shared with us after?
Yes, for sure. Yeah, we can share that
Yeah.
through. Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and then we have our planner and emergency management, Laurie. Any questions for Laurie? Alan?
I just have one question. I think, Laurie, it's probably just got put in the wrong spot. So under draft approval plans of subdivision, under full municipal services, we have Traxton listed. Under full, it probably should be down in the next one, right?
Yeah, sorry about that. It may just be where headings got moved when we were shifting them around. So that, yeah, and that is just a heartbeat away from its final approval, so it's very good.
Yeah, when I saw it in there, I thought, wow, we didn't know we were moving services all the way down there, but,
Yeah, no, unfortunately, that's not in the budget. So,
okay, thank you.
okay.
And Laurie, maybe can you just update on flooding? I know things have gone very well this spring, but if you want to give us an update there.
Yeah, so at this point, again, we are just still in that monitoring phase. Again, there's been nothing that's been brought forward at this point of being something out of the ordinary for a typical spring. We do have, though, every Wednesday at 10 is our normal freshet update call, so we'll have another update tomorrow. Certainly the weather over the last 5-day period was very favorable, not a lot of precipitation, not a lot of high temperatures. So again, when we have those cooler temperatures at night, it all helps the whole system just gradually manage stuff. And most, I know from the last report with the snowpack, it's certainly in the southern portion of the basin, most of that is gone, in terms of even from those tributaries. So it's just at this point, it is, it has started, with the northern, kind of melt. But again, it's so far at a slow pace. So we'll keep it posted if there is a bigger kind of rain system proposed to come in. That's more where we might see some, information coming. But again, as soon as we start to get the leaf coming out on trees and other shrubbery, that will all also help slow things down.
Okay. Anything else for Lori? I don't have a lot to report, but it was my pleasure today for the grand opening of Topper's Pizza, and Councillors Gauthier and Wren were there as well, a big crew from their head office. Great to have another business open, similar to the one we had about a week and a half ago when we had Battlefields open. And I know that there's a few more along the way, so it's always a good part of our job when we can welcome a new business. And these folks are really excited to be part of the community, and so it should be good. Got a motion to, was it note and file? No, motion to pass reports. Jennifer now.
Moved by Councillor Gauthier-Keel, seconded by Councillor Wren, that the council received the following reports for mid-March to mid-April 2025 at the regular council meeting of April 15th, 2025. Treasurer's report, Public Works Manager's report, Planner CEMC's report, Mayor's report.
All in favor? Carried. Okay, we've got a motion to open up a planning meeting. Brian and Wendy.
Moved by Councillor Hoogley, seconded by Councillor Hewitt, that the Council of the Township of Laurentian Valley, pursuant to Section 34 of the Planning Act, hereby declare a public meeting open at 5:46 p.m. to discuss application for zoning bylaw amendment file number Z 2025-01 Griffith.
Okay, Laurie, I'll let you get set up there. All in favor, sorry. Carried.
Sorry, yes, just running a couple of different devices tonight. So yes, our application that's before us tonight is application file Z 2025-01. And notice was given as a combined notice under the Planning Act of both the application and of this public meeting. So the purpose of this amendment is to permit the use of a mobile food trailer truck for the purposes of meal preparation kitchen as part of a home occupation on the subject property. So the effect of the amendment is to further amend the Residential 1 Exception 45, R1E45 zone to add provisions to also permit the use of the mobile food truck as a meal preparation kitchen as an accessory use as part of a home occupation. Sorry about that. Should renovations be completed in the future such that the existing detached garage structure previously authorized for use as the meal preparation kitchen is able to occur, then it would be an either or situation of one or the other being used as the food kitchen. Minimum setbacks for the location of a mobile food truck or when in use on the property will be established to be a 1.5 meter setback from the side lot line and an 8.5 meter from the rear lot line as a minimum. The lands affected by this amendment are located at 640 Jean Avenue, which is also County Road number 35, on lands described as lots 163 and 164 on Judges Plan 366 within Part Lot 33, Concession 1, Geographic Township Stafford in the Township of Laurentian Valley. And it's shown on the key map, and for those in the room, it is the location is shown up on the air photo on the screen as well. So again, copies of this proposed amendment and material under Section 34, 10.1 of the Planning Act and any additional information related to the application are available for viewing at the Township office. And any person can participate in the public meeting and make written or verbal representation either in support of or opposition to the amendment prior to council making a decision. And again, if anybody wishing to be notified of the decision of council can request that in writing, and there is a sign-in sheet also available in the council chambers for anybody in attendance. Again, comments must be made before council makes a decision in order to preserve any appealability for any bodies that are able to still appeal. And it is a public meeting, so any comments or written or otherwise that are made do form part of the public record, including names.
Okay.
So no written comments were received from anybody, either public bodies or persons that were circulated.
Alrighty. Alan.
So Laurie, that lot is on public services, both water and sewer, and if so, will the portable truck be connected to those services?
So the issue with the property is it is on municipal water. There is not currently municipal sewer that is available. And so in terms of the pivot for the business model, part of that was to address the challenge of switching or building out services to the garage for the kitchen. So they've rethought a bit of their business model. So then they would then be able to dispose of anything that they would need from their kitchen within their septic, because it's with the food truck the same way they would if it was mobile elsewhere.
So it will be connected to their septic system then?
Whether it would be directly connected, but they would be able to do what they need to do with that, and we'll work through Brett on what they need to do. It will still be a mobile truck that can leave the property, because it will also go to events, and it's being licensed under our licensing bylaw for those other kind of
So there'd be
properties.
no concern of smell or anything for the neighbors from it, if it's connected or not connected, or how they're gonna get it to their septic system?
Yeah, again, it would be, again, it's to do with the food preparation, so that's why we've also have it with the same setbacks as if it were if it were in the building as well. So it's not a bathroom facility or anything like that with the kitchen preparation.
But there still would be wastewater that would have to go somewhere, so.
Yeah, so that's where,
I
as I
guess
say,
that's my
yeah,
question.
so
Are they going to be piped right to the septic system, or how's that going to work? And if it's not going to be piped, is there an issue that there could be some odor for the residents in the area? That's just the concern that I have. If it's not connected by pipe, then is that something we're gonna have to deal with down the road?
Okay, and that was not something that was brought up in terms of a question beforehand, so I'm not able to provide a complete, answer on that particular aspect, other than, again, it is designed to be mobile, so I don't know that it would be a fixed connection, but it would be all enclosed anyways, and we can certainly follow that up with Brett, for before it's, authorized for use, if that would address that concern, but I wouldn't expect that there would be, but we can, certainly try to bring something forward with them to make sure that that's not.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Laurie, the only question I have is, I guess when they're cooking in it, I don't know if the truck's running, or I don't know anything about it, so could the truck be running at 2, 3 in the morning? Does it fall under a noise bylaw? I don't know anything, I don't know how the vehicle operates when it's cooking, so I don't know if there's gonna be a constant noise if they are cooking at 4 in the morning to head out.
It would still be governed under the noise bylaw, so in terms of those types of disturbances,
Okay.
they would have to be managed in that regard as well too. In terms of their hours of operation, they would be limited as well.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else, any questions? No, okay, we get a motion. Keith and Betty.
Moved by Reeve Watt, seconded by Councillor King, that the council approve application for zoning bylaw amendment file number Z 2025-01 Griffith, and recommends that council forward the draft bylaw as presented to the bylaw portion of the regular council meeting of April 15th, 2025 for enactment.
All in favor? Carried. Motion to close the public meeting. Al, Jennifer?
Moved by Councillor Wren, seconded by Councillor Gauthier-Keel, that the Council of the Township of Laurentian Valley hereby declare the public meeting of April 15th, 2025 be adjourned at 5:53 p.m.
All in favor? Carried. Thanks, Laurie. Okay, Sean.
The first report that we have is, it's a bylaw to finalize the Roy Street West debenture. So anytime the capital project gets financed through the use of a debenture, there's two bylaws. Really, the first one is to authorize that we apply to Infrastructure Ontario for for a project and to get approved. And then the second one is once all the costs have been finalized, we pass another bylaw that closes it out, and then we begin to pay it back over the next X amount of years. So this is the second bylaw. So to note, Roy Street West cost just over 4.5 million. We're financing 3.879 because we received through the ISIP green stream about $682,000 for a water portion of this project. So the total cost of the project is higher than the debenture amount, but the debenture that we're going to pay back over 20 years is $3,879,392.07. That same amount will show up on the financial statements for the year end of 2024 as unfinanced, and that it'll be in the notes of the financial statements. And typically that's something that can worry either readers of the financial statements or council, because it looks at that point in time like we don't have the funds for this. But just because of the cutoff time when the financial statements are, we do have a plan to finance it, which is through this debenture tonight. So you will see that coming up on the financial statements at some point. The kind of the financial implications, the 20-year interest rate on this loan is 4.41%. This was very, I haven't done a lot of debentures. Like, this might be my 6th or 7th one, but to finalize this rate was touch and go because of the uncertainty in the market. Infrastructure Ontario came back with 3 times and said, I think we need to wait another day as the market kind of jumped up and down. It's very close to what we forecasted in terms of when we laid out what our payment was going to be, and I'll get into that in a second, but the interest rate is somewhat close to what we did forecast during our budget prep, but it was very interesting to go through that. The annual principal payments on this loan is going to be 193, just shy of $194,000. We decided to, and I kind of go through it here a little bit, but we decided to use a serial debenture as opposed to an amortizing debenture. And really what that means is your total payment's going to go down over time. So when we were forecasting for the budget, we had in our mind, I guess, or I did, and we'll put it on anyone else, I guess I had in my mind we would do an amortizing debenture. And that's why the difference of what we budgeted for is somewhat less than what the actual payment is going to be. But over the course of the 20-year term, it will save the township about $240,000 doing it this way. So you pay a little bit more upfront, but a lot of it is towards principal. And it just means in this current budget year, there'd be a bit of a hit from actual to budget. But over the course of the long term, I think it seems to be the more prudent way to finance these. So that's really all I have. Once these are finalized, we will get the paperwork to our lawyers, which will finalize the debenture. I believe on May 1st, everything will actually be kind of locked down. So with that, I'll turn it back if there's any questions.
Alan?
Just one thing, and it's with the interest rate. Are we locked in at that today? Because in the next week or two, the Bank of Canada is going to put the new rate out again, and there is still a chance it could drop by a quarter basis point. So if it drops, will we be able to get that, or are we locked in at 4.41 now?
It's my understanding that we're locked into the 4.41%. So similar, I guess, if it went up, we're still in that area. So that's my understanding anyway.
Anybody else? No? Keith, you had a question? No, your mic is off.
My question was the same one that Alan asked. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, thanks, Sean. We'll move on to corporate credit cards.
Do we need a...
Oh, we don't do that as bylaw? Okay. Brian and Betty?
Moved by Councillor Hoopley, seconded by Councillor King, that the Council of the Township of Laurentian Valley authorize the debenture bylaw for Roy Street West works completed in 2024, and that bylaw 2025-04017, as presented, be forwarded to the bylaw portion of the April 15th, 2025 regular council meeting for enactment.
All in favor? Carried. Thank you. Okay, Sean, corporate credit cards.
Okay, this is just to amend a policy that we did amend in 2024, I believe. What we're doing is we're just adding 2 positions to have a corporate credit card. So it's the recreation coordinator and the community development officer. So with the Seniors Active Living Center program, there's more transactions that are flowing through these 2 positions, which are a lot of them are, I want to say, like smaller kind of incidental transactions where credit card is the more efficient way to purchase. And so these 2 positions have been either one of 2 things. They either got to come to somebody that has a credit card, ask for their credit card, which is not a very good internal control and is a little bit, I wouldn't say is a recommended practice, or they turn and they put it on their own credit card and then they submit an expense report, which hasn't been a problem, but like I said, the volume of transactions is increasing and it's a bit unfair to those staff members to do that. So we're just adding that those 2 staff members have the ability to get a credit card. And just the credit cards, we have the ability to limit their ceiling, I guess, so to speak. And at any time we can, with a click of a button, cancel, suspend, or it's same as anyone else's credit card. So there's a lot better security on the credit card than me giving it to my credit card to somebody to go use it and then not really know what's being used for. So this is a way better control mechanism anyway.
Good. Any questions for Sean? Wendy?
Not really a question. I am in support of this because I don't think it's a good practice to be borrowing credit cards when you've got a statement, you're not sure, like, is this your expense or someone else's? So I think it's a better tracking system.
Alan?
And there is a review process of the transactions on the credit card by somebody else?
Yeah, so what happens if I use my credit card, I keep my receipts, I stamp them and approve or what journal ledger they go to. Typically, I would get then the CAO to approve my transactions, and then the accounts payable clerk, she's reconciling, or that position is reconciling to make sure that we have all the receipts that we have match what's on the statement, and then we process the payment. Kind of already happens because it's an automatic debit, but we are processing to ensure that we are counted for all the transactions.
Brian?
So how are the limits on the various cards determined?
There's they flow through our procurement policy where the department heads, I believe, have discretion. Maybe I think it's up to either 10 or 15,000. And then what we do is if they're not a department head that have a credit card, we usually have it around the limit at $5,000. But the upper limits of the department heads is based on the procurement policy, because there's a limit on what doesn't have to have, I will call it a second approval, but what there's dollar thresholds through those, and that's what we mimicked for the limits on the credit card.
Yeah, I was just wondering why that wouldn't be part of the credit card policy.
Yeah, that's a good point. I'm not certain. I think probably why, not that they're saying it's right or wrong, but then if we have 2 policies that contradict each other, so if we'd have to ensure that the procurement policy thresholds matched here, and then if one got changed, then you're now on changing this one. So if they can kind of reference, I don't think this references it, which maybe is the next iteration, but ideally you kind of want them in one spot, and then if that policy changes, everything else flows through that, as opposed to trying to, where did I put that, and change them multiple policies.
Okay. Any other questions? A motion? Wendy and Betty?
Moved by Councillor Hewitt, seconded by Councillor King, that the council approve policy FIN 04, corporate credit cards as presented.
All in favor? Carried. Bylaws? Bylaws, Lori?
Okay, mover and a seconder.
Jennifer and Al?
Moved by Councillor Gauthier-Keel, seconded by Councillor Wren, that the following bylaws be enacted, passed, and be read a first, second, and third time, and be numbered and signed by the mayor and the clerk, sealed with the seal of the corporation, and be engrossed in the bylaw book this 15th day of April 2025. Bylaw 2025-04013, 2025 tax and wastewater rates, bylaw 2025-04014, to establish a protocol and guidelines for establishing radio communications within the Township of Laurentian Valley, bylaw 2025-04015, to amend consolidated tariff of fees, bylaw 2024-02011, bylaw 2025-04016, zoning bylaw amendment Z 2025-01 Griffith, bylaw 2025-04017, to authorize the borrowing upon serial debentures of $3,879,392.07 for Roy Street West reconstruction.
All in favor? Carried.
1 second. A is 04013. B is 04013. I'm just wondering if it should be 14.
It should be, yes, the
You
second
read it
one should be
correctly, I think.
2025-04014, yes.
Okay.
The resolution is correct, but it shows it is, yes,
Okay.
that's correct.
All in favor? Carried. Okay, council acknowledgements. And maybe I'll start looking at Sean. I can't believe this is your last council meeting already.
I have one more.
Oh, you have one more?
I think I have one more.
Okay.
I
then-
might even have two more, but there's one more.
Okay, and that's what I thought, so I'll save my comments. Motion to go into closed. Wendy and Brian.
Moved by Councillor Hewitt, seconded by Councillor Hughley, that the regular council meeting of April 15, 2025 be moved into closed session at 6:06 p.m., chaired by Mayor Bennett, according to the Ontario Municipal Act 2001, Section 239.2, Section 239.3, and Section 239.3.1, in order to address a matter pertaining to personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees.
All in favor? Carried. Okay, motion to return to open session, Wendy and Keith, I said.
Moved by Counselor Hewitt, second by Reeve Watt, that the regular council meeting of April 15th, 2025 move back into open session at 5:53 PM.
All
Or
in
sorry,
favor?
6:53 PM.
All in favor? Okay,
Carried.
note and file? Jennifer? Alan?
Moved by Counselor Goche-Keel, second by Counselor Wren, that any items not specifically addressed by motion of council in the regular meeting of April 15th, 2025 be noted and filed accordingly.
All in favor? Carried. Confirmatory bylaw, Wendy and Brian.
Moved by Counselor Hewitt, second by Counselor Hoogley, that be it resolved that Council of the Township of Laurentian Valley approves confirmatory bylaw 2025-04018 as having been introduced, read a first, second, and third time, and the said bylaw be numbered and signed by the mayor and the clerk, sealed by the seal of the corporation this 15th day of April 2025.
All in favor? Carried. Adjournment. Alan and Brian?
Moved by Counselor Wren, seconded by Counselor Hoogley, that the regular council meeting of April 15, 2025 be adjourned at 6:54 PM.
All in favor? Carried. Good night. Stay safe.